The marketing claims premium, high-end suction for a budget-friendly price. Usually, that's a recipe for disappointment. But after 4 weeks of testing, I found a machine that genuinely surprised me in some ways and completely validated my concerns in others. Design and build quality. Right out of the box, the X7A feels better than its price tag suggests. It's not the magnesium alloy and carbon fiber of a top-tier Dyson, but it's a dense, high-quality plastic that doesn't creak or flex when you're pushing it around. It's incredibly lightweight. I can easily grab it with one hand to clean stairs or cobwebs from the ceiling, which is a huge win over my old, heavy cordless model. The best part of its physical design is that it's self-standing. I can't tell you how many times I've had to awkwardly lean other vacuums against a wall only to have them crash down. With the X7A, I can just park it in the middle of the room if I need to stop and move a chair. It's a small detail that makes a huge difference in daily use. Key features in action. First, the suction. This vacuum claims a very high suction power, and in its max mode, I believe it. I took it to my main entryway rug where tiny bits of dirt and cat litter get ground in. On its highest setting, the X7A pulled up an embarrassing amount of grit that my older, more expensive vacuum had been missing. The floorhead has bright LED lights, which I initially thought were a gimmick. I was wrong. They cast a low-angle light across my hardwood floors, illuminating every single dust bunny and cat hair I would have otherwise missed. Second is the Smart Touch display. This is a feature you just don't see at this price. Instead of guessing how much power is left from 3 blinking dots, the X7A gives you a clear percentage readout. More importantly, it shows you which of the 3 suction modes you're in. I found I used standard mode for 80% of my cleaning on hard floors, medium for my low-pile rugs, and only saved that battery-destroying max mode for really tough spots. Finally, the anti-tangle brush roll. With 2 long-haired cats, this was a key test. I'd say it's about 90% effective. After a full month, I did have to get in there with scissors to cut away some wrapped hair, but it's a massive improvement over older models that would clog after 2 or 3 uses. Performance and daily reality. Here is the most important part of the review, the battery. The box claims a runtime of up to 60 minutes. You need to know this is only on the lowest standard suction setting, with no powered attachments. In my real-world testing, I got a much more realistic 20 to 25 minutes when I was actively switching between standard and medium modes to clean my entire apartment. If I used max mode constantly, the battery was dead in under 10 minutes. This isn't actually a complaint. This performance is typical for the industry. That 45 kilopascals of suction power has to come from somewhere, and it drinks battery juice. The good news is the battery is detachable, so you could buy a second one and swap it out for a deep cleaning session. For my 1,200 square foot apartment, I could just finish the whole place on one charge if I moved quickly. The dust bin is huge, which I love. I only had to empty it once after a full house clean. Limitations and trade-offs. So, where did they cut corners? Long-term durability is my biggest question. While it feels solid now, I've seen reports from other users that these vacuums can sometimes fail after 6 or 8 months. This is the gamble you take by not buying from one of the big, established brands. It also has a bit of a cheap-feeling wall mount. It holds the vacuum, but it's just a simple piece of plastic. And as I mentioned, that max power mode is a temporary sprint, not a marathon. My final verdict. After a month, the X7A has become my go-to daily cleaner. It's light, the lights are genuinely useful, and the suction on medium and high is fantastic for the price. Buy this if you live in an apartment or a small to medium-sized home, have mostly hard floors, and want a lightweight, powerful vacuum for daily cleanups. It gives you 90% of the experience of a high-end vacuum for a fraction of the cost. Skip this if you have a large, fully carpeted house, or if you are the kind of person who needs a product to last for a decade. The battery life on high and the questions around long-term reliability are the trade-offs you make for this price. I was skeptical about the marketing, especially the anti-hair wrap claims. In a home with a mix of old hardwood, deep pile area rugs, and a dog that sheds constantly, I figured I was the perfect person to break it. It's not a perfect machine, but for the first time in years, I'm not cleaning my vacuum after I clean my floors. Design and build quality. Right out of the box, you can tell this is not a lightweight stick vac. It's a heavy-duty, old-school upright, and it feels like one. At around 17 pounds, it has some serious heft. It's all high-impact plastic, but it feels dense and durable, not brittle. The main canister and dustbin click into place with a really solid, satisfying thunk. The swivel steering is surprisingly nimble for such a big machine, but you absolutely feel the weight during a long cleaning session. It feels more industrial than some of its sleeker, more expensive competitors, and I mean that in a good way. Key features in action. Let's skip the spec sheet and talk about the 3 things that actually matter in daily use. First, the floor head. Shark calls it a duo clean power fin system. This just means it has 2 rollers. Up front, there's a soft, fluffy roller that is amazing on hard floors. Instead of scattering crumbs or kitty litter, it grabs them and pulls them in. It also buffs fine dust off my hardwoods, making them look polished. Behind it is the main finned roller for carpets. On my medium pile rugs, this thing digs deep. The amount of fine grit it pulled out of carpets I thought were clean was genuinely embarrassing. Second, the anti-hair wrap. This was the feature I was sure was a gimmick. My old vacuum's roller looked like a wig after one pass. After 3 months of testing this against dog hair and my wife's long hair, I pulled the floor head apart to check. It was almost perfectly clean. It just works. This alone saves me 15 minutes of frustration every month. Third, the powered lift away. You can press a button and the main canister and motor lift off the vacuum's stick. This turns it into a powerful, portable canister vac. The key word is powered. The main floor head keeps spinning. This is a total game changer for cleaning under beds, coffee tables, and dressers. It's still heavy to carry, but it's brilliant for those hard-to-reach spots. Performance and daily reality. The suction power is incredible, almost too much on its highest setting. You will need to turn it down for throw rugs, or it will try to eat them. On main carpets, it just pulls and pulls. The complete seal HEPA filtration is also excellent. As an allergy sufferer, I've noticed less dust in the air after vacuuming, and there's none of that hot vacuum smell. It is loud, though. There is no getting around it. This is not a quiet machine. It's a deep, powerful sounding hum that tells you it's working hard. The dust bin is easy to empty, but you will be emptying it often because it picks up so much. Limitations and trade-offs. This vacuum is not for everyone. My main complaint is the weight. This is a heavy machine. Hauling it up and downstairs is a genuine workout. It's also very top-heavy. If you use the hose wand and pull it just a little too far, the whole vacuum will tip over and crash to the floor. It's happened to me twice. And that odor neutralizer cartridge? In my experience, it's a gimmick. It's an air freshener dial on the floor head. It does make the room smell, but it feels unnecessary, and it's another consumable you have to remember to buy. I'd rather Shark had spent the money making it a pound lighter. Final verdict. So, after 3 months, here's my recommendation. Buy this if you have pets that shed, a lot of carpet, or a mix of floors. Buy this if you are tired of cutting hair off your vacuum roller and you want a powerful, deep cleaning machine that feels like it will last for years. Skip this if you live in a multi-story home and have to carry your vacuum up and downstairs often. Skip this if you want a lightweight, quick cleanup tool or if you have mobility issues. This is a heavy-duty cleaner and it demands a bit of muscle to get the most out of it. My initial skepticism about these all-in-one wet-dry vacuums has genuinely dissolved. The biggest surprise wasn't its raw power, which is impressive, but how utterly maintenance-free the hot air-drying dock makes the whole experience. This thing efficiently cleans your floors, and then it cleans itself. Design and build quality. Out of the box, the H12 Pro feels substantial, weighing about 10 pounds with full tanks. It is built mostly from robust plastic, and the handle is ergonomic and placed well. Compared to my old Tinico S3, the Dream feels a little heftier, which translates to a sense of quality but slightly less agility darting around tight chair legs. I really appreciate the simple, vibrant LED display that changes color from green to red based on detected dirt. However, I have one real complaint about the physical design: the dirty water tank assembly. The rubber seal and the separator for solids can be tricky to reassemble perfectly, and if you forget to rinse it immediately after a heavy mess, the smell can quickly embed in the plastic. It feels like the dirty water tank plastic could be a little more robust to withstand clumsy handling. Key features in action. The two features that sell this machine are its edge-to-edge cleaning and the automated drying system. Edge cleaning is phenomenal. Unlike older models, the roller brush extends almost entirely to one side, letting me clean flush against baseboards and cabinet kickplates. I used to have a 2-inch dirt margin along my counters where I had to follow up with a cloth, and the H12 Pro eliminates that in one pass. The second feature, the auto mode with dirt detection, is genuinely smart. I noticed the motor ramp up significantly on a dried coffee spill in my hallway, and the display instantly flashed red, indicating heavy soil. It adjusts the water flow and suction on the fly, optimizing both power and battery life when the floor is just lightly dusted. Crucially, the hot air drying cycle is a total game changer. I just park it on the dock, hit the button, and walk away. An hour later, the roller brush is bone dry, completely eliminating the mildew and sour water smell that was constant with every other wet vacuum I have tested. Performance and daily reality. In terms of raw performance, the 300-watt motor pulls sticky messes and pet hair with authority. During one accidental testing scenario involving a dropped, uncooked egg and shell, it vanished in a single forward pass, leaving virtually no streak behind. The machine uses a self-propulsion system, which is powerful, almost too powerful. It feels like an eager puppy dragging you forward. You have to actively brace against it when pulling the unit back or turning corners, which can be tiring during long runs, especially if you are maneuvering around small spaces. On auto mode, I reliably get about 30 to 35 minutes of runtime. This is enough for my entire 1,400 square foot downstairs hard floor area, thanks to the larger 900 milliliter clean water tank. It is important to remember that this time will drop significantly if you spend a lot of time in ultra mode, or if the battery degrades over a few years, which is a real concern given the fixed internal battery. Limitations and trade-offs. My main long-term reservation is that non-replaceable battery. If the runtime dips below 30 minutes in 2 years, the unit is essentially a heavy dock ornament. Secondly, despite having a suction-only mode, you cannot truly dry vacuum because the roller stays damp from previous use. If you want to vacuum an area rug or dry debris on hardwood without adding moisture, this is not the right tool. It is built for simultaneous vacuuming and washing. Finally, the boot up time is bizarrely slow. It takes a few seconds to respond to the power button, making quick cleanup grabs less instantaneous than they should be. Final verdict. The DREAME H12 PRO is arguably the best wet dry floor cleaner in its price range right now, primarily because the hot air drying solves the single, most frustrating part of the job. By this if you have mostly hard floors, you manage pet messes or spills frequently, and you want a truly low-maintenance, 2-in-1 machine that provides exceptional edge cleaning. Skip this if you need a true handheld dry vacuum for quick carpet messes, you want a machine that can be easily repaired with a replaceable battery, or if you prefer a lighter, more agile machine for extremely tight spaces. This is a compact bulldozer with manners. It pulls up pet hair better than most cordless flagships, feels planted thanks to the track drive wheel design, and filters well. But the small 1-liter bin and a fussy hard floor head mean it shines most in smaller homes with mixed floors and regular vacuuming. Not once a week, deep dumps of debris. Design and build quality. The Boost CX1 cat and dog feels like a scaled-down Miele canister with a low center of gravity that simply refuses to tip. The track drive layout, with side wheels and a stabilizing caster, keeps it tracking straight behind you and turning tightly in cramped spaces. That matters in hallways, around furniture, and especially on stairs where the body sits securely without wobbling. The plastics feel dense, the telescopic wand extends smoothly, and the crush-proof hose doesn't kink when pulled around corners. It's lighter than full-size Miele canisters at about 7.75 kilograms, and the 10-meter operating radius is workable for apartments or modest homes. Compared to similar compact bagless units, this feels sturdier and more balanced in the hand. Key features in action. The Vortex suction system and the 890-watt powerline motor are the headline story, but the way Miele dials and manages that power matters more than the number. The 4-position rotary control gives genuine range, from delicate curtains to full blast for embedded grit. In practice, I left it mid-high for daily passes and bumped it up only for entry rugs. At max, it can cling to the floor, so having that control is essential for comfort and maneuvering. Filtration on the cat and dog trim is robust. This variant typically includes HEPA air clean level filtration, which, together with the vortex separation, keeps fine dust under control. The Click 2 open dustbin latch is quick and neat, though the 1-liter capacity forces more frequent trips to the bin. If you vacuum big sheds of hair, expect to empty mid-clean. On the flip side, it's hygienic and doesn't plume dust when opened correctly. Attachments are where it punches above its weight. The Turbo Brush is the pet hair hero on carpets and rugs. The crevice tool has strong focused airflow that actually pulls fine powder out of grout lines and baseboard edges. The upholstery tool is excellent for couches and car mats. On hard floors, performance depends heavily on the floor head. The standard EcoTQ or universal head can struggle with larger debris, tending to push or scatter cereal-sized pieces. Removing the head and using the wand directly or switching to a better hard floor tool solves it. But there's a little learning curve to get the best result on tile or wood. Performance and daily reality. Day to day, the Boost CX1 cat and dog is a workhorse in smaller spaces and mixed floor apartments. On low to medium pile carpets with the turbo head, it lifts visible hair and pulls out fines effectively. It doesn't burrow as deeply as a powered brush head on a high-end full-size canister, but for most household carpets, it meets expectations. For allergies, the sealed filtration adds confidence that what goes in stays in. On hard floors, suction is strong enough to pull in dust from a short distance, which is satisfying for corners and edges. The caveat is with bigger debris. The standard floorhead aperture is narrow, so it pushes large crumbs forward. Switching to a parquet head or knocking larger bits toward the wand makes a difference. Noise at full power sits in the upper 70s to mid-80s dB by casual app readings, which is audible but not harsh, and felt similar to other compact canisters at max. With pets, the machine's compact body and track-following behavior really help frequent quick cleans, and the bin and filters do not clog rapidly with just hair, though owners who vacuum infrequently may notice the small bin as a bottleneck. Limitations and trade-offs. The small 1-liter bin means frequent emptying for heavy shedders or post-renovation dust. The included hard floor head can be fussy with larger debris, sometimes requiring head-off suction or multiple passes. Without a powered brush roll, ultra-deep carpet agitation isn't as strong as premium uprights or canisters with electric heads. At full power, it can feel sticky on some surfaces, so plan to use the suction dial actively. Those who want to vacuum big messes in one go or cover large homes may prefer a larger canister or a model with a bigger dustbin and a powered head. Final verdict. Buy this if you want a compact, stable canister that truly handles pet hair on carpets and upholstery, value sealed filtration, and appreciate thoughtful maneuverability in tighter spaces. Skip this if you clean infrequently and generate large debris piles, need maximum deep carpet agitation from a powered brush head, or dislike emptying a small bin mid-session. At first, I was skeptical. Dyson's marketing often promises revolutionary tech, but in daily life, you just want something that picks up dirt fast and doesn't feel like a chore to use. After living with it through weekly deep cleans, pet hair battles, and those quick after-dinner crumb sweeps, I came away both impressed and occasionally frustrated. The laser dust detection really surprised me, not just as a gimmick, but as a genuinely useful tool. Still, this is a premium vacuum with a premium price, and that means expectations are high. Design and build quality. The V15 Detect Plus feels solid and well-balanced once you get used to its shape. Dyson sticks with its familiar stick format, but the handle and trigger setup feel more refined this time. It's mostly made from high-grade plastic, yet nothing feels flimsy. The click-in connections are satisfying, and the attachments lock with a clean snap. The build is lightweight enough for one-handed cleaning, though after 20 minutes, the top-heavy design can feel tiring if you're doing ceiling corners or long stretches of stairs. Compared to competitors like Shark Strato series, the Dyson feels more premium in the hand, though Shark's designs are sometimes more ergonomic. Still, The V15's modular setup and sleek aesthetic look right at home in a modern apartment or a tech-filled house. Key features in action. The laser dust detection is easily the headline feature. At first, I rolled my eyes. A green laser to reveal hidden dust felt like a party trick. Then I actually used it on my hardwood floors, and it changed the way I clean. The laser highlights fine dust and pet hair you wouldn't see under normal light. It's oddly satisfying, almost addictive, to chase down glowing specks until the floor looks spotless. You quickly realize how much dirt you were missing before. The second feature that stood out is the built-in piezo sensor. This little detail quietly counts and measures the dust particles you pick up, adjusting suction power automatically. It sounds over the top, but in practice, it means you don't have to think about switching modes. When I vacuum rugs or thick carpets, the V15 ramps up power immediately. Then, when I move back to tile, it dials back to save battery. It's smooth and genuinely useful. The third key feature is the anti-tangle hair screw tool. I've got a long-haired pet, and this is the first mini tool I've used that doesn't jam or wrap strands around the brush. I tested it on a couch that usually takes multiple passes with my old Dyson V8. This time, it cleared everything in one go. It's smaller than the main head, but perfect for stairs, upholstery, or car seats. Learning to swap tools mid-session takes a few days to become second nature, but once you build the habit, you'll use them often. Performance and daily reality. In everyday cleaning, the V15 Detect Plus delivers power you can feel. Suction is strong enough to lift embedded dirt from carpets and fine dust from crevices. On hard floors, the laser head paired with the slim roller gives an almost polished finish. I've used cheaper cordless vacuums before, but none match the way the V15 transitions seamlessly between surfaces. Battery life averages around 60 minutes on auto mode, which is enough for a medium-sized home if you work efficiently. In tougher scenarios, like a thick rug full of dog hair, it doesn't struggle, though you'll hear the motor surge and battery drain faster. Emptying the bin is simple and mess-free compared to older Dyson designs. However, the trigger-style power switch still bugs me. Holding it down constantly isn't ideal during long sessions. Some competitors have solved this with a power toggle, which I wish Dyson would finally adopt. Limitations and trade-offs. No product is perfect, and the V15 Detect Plus has its share of trade-offs. It's expensive, and while the features justify some of that cost, it's still a tough sell for smaller homes or casual cleaners. The top-heavy weight can wear out your wrist on longer jobs. And while the laser head is great on hard floors, it doesn't work on carpets. You'll need to switch heads, which breaks the flow a bit. Lastly, the trigger power design might frustrate users with arthritis or wrist issues. Final verdict. Buy this if you want one of the most intelligent, thorough cordless vacuums available today. It's ideal for homes with pets, mixed flooring, or anyone who enjoys seeing exactly what they're cleaning. Skip this if you prefer a lightweight grab-and-go vacuum or if switching attachments feels like a hassle. The Dyson V15 Detect Plus earns its price with performance and clever engineering, but it shines brightest for those who treat cleaning as a weekly ritual, not a rushed chore.